Hey everybody, and welcome to Meals with Melissa, where I come up with great healthy options for the things that you love to eat. Now, I know you're looking at it and you're like, mushrooms, really? That's great to eat. Let me tell you, mushrooms have some amazing nutritional purposes. But I also want to tell you that as a child, I hated them. So one of those things with onions and tomatoes that I thought, well, maybe I'll like as an adult. Now, still don't like tomatoes, don't know why, but love onions, love mushrooms, right? Like there's so many different flavors and tastes and different types, and it's actually a lot of fun, and it just depends on what you do with them. Now, for those of you with a texture issue, 100% I get it, but maybe you just need to try them a new way. Like sometimes you can have them fresh on top of salads, and other times you can have what we're making today. So we got this incredible air fryer a while ago, bought it from a friend who was moving, and bless her heart, it has been awesome in our household. So, you know, one of the great things about air fryers is that you're not adding different oils to your foods. Now, oil isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the downside is that when you heat certain oils, it changes the chemical structure of it, and it actually can do damage to your DNA. And there are certain oils that you definitely want to stay away from. You know, they say that vegetable oil and canola oil is heart healthy. You guys, if you knew the process that it went through when it comes to chemicals and bleach, you would be disgusted with what those do, and they do cause detrimental effects. So we're going to use some great options here. That's why I love the air fryer. I am going to add some extra virgin olive oil to my recipe today, but it is phenomenal. Now, I did make a couple of changes when I made this the first time because it tasted good, but I felt like there needed to be some other things. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some mushrooms. They've already been pre-cut. I bought them that way because I just didn't want to take a lot of time. So it depends on what you have access to and what works for you. But I'm not going to lie, these are awesome. It would make a great side dish or something you could throw in an omelet. Okay, hold on a second. Let me grab my lovely mushrooms. Now, I'm actually going to rinse these, but if you were going to wait on this, don't rinse them until you're ready, because otherwise they're just going to get slimy, which is kind of gross. So I'm going to rinse them and dry them just really quick, just right in the container. And again, you guys, this is so fast. Literally what takes the longest is waiting for them to cook in the air fryer. Now, you will want to preheat your air fryer, because otherwise if you put them in, it's going to take a lot longer. If you put them in a cold fryer, it's going to take a lot longer. I just didn't want the noise. So I did that with my first batch this morning. Worked phenomenal. All right, so I'm going to rinse these just really quick. I mean, you could throw them in a colander if you want as well. Just not going to take that kind of time today. All right. So I'm going to dump these on a couple paper towels and just let them dry for a second. Make sure that they're all good to go. Just dry them off a little bit and throw them in the bowl. I'm going to throw in my other options, and that's really all there is to it. Okay, now, as with all recipes that I do, there's a couple of changes that I made. The end calls for some lemon wedges. I just am not a huge fan of extra lemon flavor in some of my savory dishes, as you may have seen before. So I'm going to forego the lemon today, even though I have some. But yeah, that just is what it is. I am going to add additional Worcestershire. Yeah, try saying that. Most of my family can't say it. I can say it. Worcestershire. All right, we're gonna add some extra of that and a little bit extra of the garlic powder that it calls for. Now, if you don't have any garlic powder and you do have minced garlic, by all means, try it, right? I love minced garlic, so that works great for me. But we are gonna use garlic salt today, or garlic powder, because that is what it calls for. All right, I'm gonna put this in my bowl. You guys, this is so fast and so easy, it's ridiculous. Okay, so to that I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, we use extra virgin olive oil. Even olive oil can come in quality forms, right? If you buy something that is in a clear container, it's going to have issues with the sun. When it contacts with the light, it changes the chemical structure. And some oils can actually become rancid if they're in the wrong conditions. So keep that in mind, that how you take care of your oils make a big difference too. We do not use any sort of vegetable oil, canola oil, soy oil, soybean oil, any of that. We tend to stick with extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, macadamia oil, and coconut oil in my household, because those are better options, and some of those have some incredible nutritive properties. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Got this one at Costco because we use a lot. All right, to that I'm going to add make sure I get this right, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Again, it said half, and I felt like it just wasn't enough. I could barely taste the flavor when I tried it. So I'm gonna add a full teaspoon of that. Let's make sure I've got the right option for this. And we'll just use this and do 2 of them. Okay, so I'm gonna add a full teaspoon. And don't worry, I'm gonna mix it. I'm just gonna use my hands because they're clean. You know, one of the interesting things that I kept thinking throughout this whole pandemic issue when people are like, just make sure you wash your hands. I'm going, there are people who don't wash their hands. Like you go to the bathroom and you don't wash your hands. I don't understand that. So maybe we all need a lesson on how to better clean after ourselves. I don't know. All right, to that I'm also gonna add some Worcestershire sauce. Love this stuff. You can also use soy. I don't like to use a lot of soy in my household. I don't like the way it's processed, and we can have a conversation about how that contributes to estrogen another day. All right, so I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Can't help it, just love that. All right, putting that in as well. Almost done, seriously. Like I said, this took me all of about 3 minutes this morning, and then it takes 8 to 10 to cook, so woo. All right, so to that I'm also gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. We use Himalayan pink salt. All right, super easy. All right, I'm just gonna mix that with my hands, right? I mean, you could use a spoon, but I really wanna make sure that all of the mushrooms get coated and I can kind of feel the olive oil, so it smells good. I like cooking things at home and my family comes in going, what are you cooking? Last week when I made the jalapeno quinoa bites, phenomenal. Yeah, those go to eating real fast. Same thing with the last one I did on garlic shrimp and rice, cauliflower rice, or rice cauliflower, whatever. All right, so that's all there is to it. I'm gonna load this into my lovely air fryer. Like I said, this is phenomenal. It's just a great way to cook things without adding carcinogens to the foods that you eat, because it's not just about the fact that you're eating healthy foods. You do want to eat nutrient-dense foods, but you also want to be careful of eating things that can actually contain carcinogens, such as the nitrates and nitrites that we find in things like deli meat and bacon. You can find uncured versions of those. Okay. Putting this in, and like I said, it's gonna take a little bit longer today because I didn't have it on, just because it's so noisy. But if you have it preheated already, I think I ended up at 9 minutes on my last batch. You can cut the pieces smaller if you want them to cook a little faster, or if you just like it that way. Plus, they tend to absorb more of the mixture a little faster. But your choice. I don't mind it either way. Now, see how that looks? Once you pull it out, it's not gonna look like it's that much, because of course, as you air fry it, it's gonna absorb all the moisture out of the mushrooms, and so it's gonna be much smaller density of what it turns out to be. Okay, I have a batch, so let me show you what those are gonna look like, and then I'm gonna feed them to my husband. He's usually my taste tester on everything I do, and if my 12-year-old likes it, everybody will like it. All right. So this is a batch that I cooked earlier. Now, of course, they're not warm, and I would actually highly recommend you serve them warm because they're gonna taste the best then. But to that, I'm just gonna add a little bit of ground parsley, dried parsley. Just got it at the grocery store. The great thing is, the more often you cook healthy, the more tools and ingredients you will already have at home in order to make healthy options for your family. When you first start, you're gonna have to buy some essentials like not the vegetable oil, the extra virgin olive oil, some of the different, spices. Spices are great. Healthy food does not have to be boring. You can make it interesting. Pinterest is my best friend when it comes to finding these recipes. I just have to look through the ingredient list and decide if I need to change something out and make it a little bit healthier. All right, super easy. I'm just putting a little bit of that ground parsley, and this is how it looks. So if you're looking for something to feed some friends coming over, if you want a healthier option for your family, you've got some great things. You just have to learn how to make them to taste good that don't have to include a lot of unhealthy ingredients. So have an incredible week, you guys. Hopefully, let me know if you guys try it, if you like it, or even if you have a really great recipe you would love to share. We totally give you credit for it, because the best thing is we all want to help each other become happy, healthy, and live a really great, healthy lifestyle. Have an incredible weekend, you guys, and until next week, that is Meals with Melissa. Now go do some air frying.